What's up, y'all? How you doing? I appreciate you. Welcome back to Ike J. Thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. This is kind of like an impromptu video. I wanted to share a little something, I guess, since this channel is called Real Talk. I've been writing a book. I've been writing for a while, actually. It's kind of like little paragraphs and sections of my life. I call them Garryizms, so that will definitely be in the title. Garryizms, number one, and it's just gonna be a section of a short story that I'm writing. And yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all on a cliffhanger. I just gonna say it now, and that is intentional. So maybe you'll like my writing style, maybe you won't. I think I write like I talk. It's just gonna be something I'm gonna read off to y'all, and if you like it, cool. If you don't, cool. If you like it, sub to the channel. I plan on doing some more things like this. I'm still trying to get a feel for what I'm going to do. I have some other things written out too, but I think I'm going to start here because it seems to be it's real personal to me. Has to do with my life, so why not start with first episode of Garryisms, Real Talk, Volume 1. So this is kind of a short story on like a section of the last like few years of my life. So I'm just gonna read what I have written down, and if you like it, then cool. All right. So how do you begin? I asked myself that 1,000 times. It'd probably be best if you start at the beginning. I know. That's how you would do this normally. But anyone that knows me knows I do things normal like. That being said, let this tale begin. This critical story is just a fraction within an 8-year snippet of my life. It felt like heaven, but ended with me clawing my way out of a hell I never thought I would see or could have possibly imagined. Now, I know this young woman, and for the sake of this story, we'll call her ML. She had such a major impact on my life. You know how you feel when there's absolutely nothing on the planet that could keep you from explicitly showing the one that you love that they're the one for you? That you would do anything to make sure they'd be a better person in every way. Show them your truth. Put your heart in their hand and blend your souls so they can never be separated. I had those feels. They ran through the very aura that surrounded my body. Now, I'm a lover. If I have to fight, that's one thing. I can get a little bit carried away if I get provoked. I only want to fight for the ones I love, not against them. ML and I never fought with each other. We didn't have to. We talked things out. I don't think it's necessary to argue and fuss at your significant other. You're supposed to grow with the one you choose as your bond. I choose to give as much love and compassion as possible. I don't think positive vibes are spread around nearly as much as negative. It's a crying shame, too. This world could use a hefty dose of positivity. I know that's all something we can get behind. So, around 2011, 2012, I was going through a separation. I'm not saying I was completely innocent, but I wasn't fully at fault either. I had really messed up with the mother of my 3 wonderful sons. I was stupid. Regardless, not too long after that, I was staying on a friend's couch. Now, those are some of the worst days of my life. I was feeling pretty lonely. I missed the hell out of my sons. And one day, my friend, we'll call him B, he says, "Hey, I gotta pick up my daughter from NC. You wanna drive?" She was having some difficulties, and he being my boy, of course I said yes. Little did I know that this was the very beginning of some of the best years of my life. So the next day, we head out, pick her up. 8-hour drive later, we arrived at Scoop. +1. Now, we rolled up. She was looking good. Maybe not quite wearing enough clothes to be around Dad. Her butt cheeks was out a little bit. I'll never forget the brief look I saw in that man's face. In my head, I was like, nice. Oh, did I say +1? Yeah, her son. An awesome little guy. He was almost 3 when I met his little behind. One of our first experiences together was me potty training him. We peed on cereal. Teaching little boys, it never fails. We all know how expensive diapers are. Anyway, since B drove down, I drove back. ML sat up front with me while B sat in the back seat to snooze. I'm not gonna lie, I was stunned by her beauty. She was perfect. Now to be fair, I never had any intentions on being with her. I'm not the best looking guy, I ain't fugly, but I am no model either. She, on the other hand, was, in my eyes, way out of my league. She's my homeboy's daughter for one thing, and could easily be a model. The way she sways when she walks is captivating. I'm smiling right now just thinking about that. Well, anyway, we got back to Ohio. Things went back to normal. I was working at Applebee's, and I was working at Applebee's then. I would cook us a meal, and she would wait up for me after work, and we would eat together almost every night. We used to sit back and gaze at the stars until the light of dawn in the early morning sky. Check out the constellations and meteor showers whenever they happened. As a side note, I swear one night we saw this huge flying craft go fly over us. It was really low and it was really silent. Anyway, I think it was our bonding during those times that drew us together. After a while, she hinted around to me that she was kind of interested in dating. I could really get down with that, but I felt a certain type of way because of the relationship that I had with her father. At the time, he was my very best friend, so being the guy that I am, we had a smoke session and talked about the fact that she and I wanted to move past the friend stage. He gave me his blessing. After the okay from B, things took off like a rocket. Room was kind of scarce, and we didn't really have anywhere to do the grown-up. We would sometimes get a little carried away with the volume. I still laugh at the fact that the neighbor across the street told B that he heard us through the windows. He thought we was doing something behind his back. Obviously, we weren't. Some people just need to mind their own. Soon after that, moving out sounded like the thing to do. We put what little loot we could together and got a 2-bedroom apartment. It was pure bliss, just having our own place. But we didn't have much. A TV, a futon, a bed for her son, a little bit of clothes is all we had. But we had each other, and that's all that we needed. As time went on, I ended up quitting the bees and taking a job at a vape store. A friend of ours worked there and hooked me up. I didn't know that I was such a good salesman until then. In the beginning, my son had a rough time being around ML. I think it was super strange for them to see their dad with another woman, which is, that's to be noted. It's definitely something that happens in relationships. I don't know, but it didn't take long for the 4 boys to become brothers. We made birthday cakes and cookie pies, and holidays were always great because we were all together. Years into our relationship, and things were as they should. I was making vape juice from scratch. People from all over would come to the store just to ask for my advice for store topics. They would even come to our apartment to buy vape juice. I was becoming pretty popular in our little town. I was about to find out how my popularity was catching the eye of a businessman. We'll call him W. Now, during this time, I was really feeling that I should take my relationship with ML to the next level. I asked her to be my wife, and she said yes. Okay, so quick flashback. At the beginning of our relationship, I told ML that I would never marry again. I didn't like the fact that the government had to put their 2 cents on everyone's business, that real love didn't need a piece of paper as proof of it. But she changed me. I fell in love with that woman. She was the one I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, paper or not. Anyway, the W would come into the store I was in and shop the store, checking prices and trying to see what info he could get. Now, I knew that he was doing this, I just didn't care. He was clear on the other side of town, selling just a small amount of the things that we had in store. At the time, I had known W for a few years. He owns a few gas stations and has several apartments and homes for rent, but that was about all I knew. One day, while I was in the shop alone, he asked if I could help him open his own vape/tobacco store. I was like, what kind of question is that? This man had the money, and I had the mind to craft him a store from scratch. He asked me to help him pick out a building, so I left the vape shop to pursue something bigger. It took months to find something. Then all of a sudden, W just fell off the map. Now I know that was a lot of stress on ML. The only income in the house was her, and that girl is a beast. I took up the mantle of Mr. Mom, walking her son to and from the bus stop, helping with homework and housework, cooking and the like. Yeah, it was tough on her, but it worked for us. I asked her repeatedly, She wanted me to go back to the vape shop. She insisted that she liked our arrangement. After searching for a place to start this new venture for months, the day finally arrived. Now, this place was gigantic. It used to be an old print shop. 2 stories, 4 apartments upstairs, 2 bedrooms, two bedrooms and 2 1-bedrooms. And the store was the whole bottom floor plus a basement. We worked on the apartments first, which I thought was weird since I was to manage the store. I started to feel as if I was being used just a little bit. ML and I talked about it, but I brushed it off. I find out much later that this was a mistake. In the meantime, I was learning how to drywall some. I'll be real, I helped paint more than anything. It was about 2 months before we even started on the store. When we finally got started on it, it felt even more official because W let me name it. Even though we were getting behind on rent and bills piled up, I wasn't getting a real steady income coming from drywall and painting. So we ended up getting an eviction notice just a few weeks before Christmas 2019. The store was open and we was about to be homeless. I said something to my boss that I didn't know what we were going to do after things went sideways. This man asked me if I would like him to help buy a house. Oh, sorry, I missed my spot. If I would help buy a house. And I said, that was the most surprising question that anyone had ever asked me. He told me he would see what he could do. Well, I knew if anyone could get one, he'd be able to get one for sure. The very next day after opening the store, he asked me, would $100,000 home something I'd be interested in? Really? I mean, what kind of question is that too? Of course it was, but I had to ask ML to look for something a little bit more in our price range. And he said, yeah. We looked around, we found a home for about $60,000. Now I gotta say this. I did one of the dumbest things that I could have possibly have done. It's the one thing that I regret. It's that I didn't take ML with me. She was watching the store when W and I went to look at the house. Dumb move on my part. Why did I do that to her? I had a lot of time to think about it. I think that one act planted a seed of our demise. It's one of a handful of times in my life that I sincerely wish that I could turn back time. The things that did to her head, I'll never have the opportunity to fix. I hope that it didn't damage her too much with that extremely foolish incident. I'm so very sorry, ML. Well, we did get the house. So, we had to wait 30 days until we could move in. So we stayed in one of the apartments above the store. February 2020, we moved into our new home. Now, when I started this management position, I was the only employee. Working 11-hour days, Monday through Saturday, 8 on Sunday. No overtime, no time and a half, no holiday pay. Plus, I started working for him for $8.50 an hour. He said it was only until business picked up. It was several months later that I found out that we paid the building off. We had made well over $260,000 in 6 months. In the beginning, ML was in charge of our Facebook page. I handled the orders, the Google business. I made us a website and an app. I figured it was a fine time to ask about that raise, especially when W rolled in with a new $60,000 Mercedes-Benz. Now, if I'm paying $600 a month for rent, but only getting paid about $360 every 2 weeks, how can I build a life for my family with that? I paid child support as well. I worked the first 5.5 months with not one single day off. I was beginning to feel like an indentured servant. Anyway, I talked to him about to hire someone so I could have some time with my children. There's only one person on my list that would even consider to work there, and that was my right hand, ML. He agreed, but the catch, unbeknownst to us, was that he was splitting our day in half, which was really messed up, by the way, just saying. Like, we'd be there the whole day, and I would get paid for half, and she would get paid for half. So when I brought this up to him, he said, you guys live in the same house. That's why I pay you that way. That was not paying the bills in a 2-story, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath house with a detached garage. With our home being just $60,000, of course it needed some things work on. Electrical needed redone, insulation in the attic, and some things outside too. Bear with me. House was built in the 1920s. How are we going to get that stuff done as well? Well, we found out it's about $5,000 just to fix the electrical issues. There was no way that that was going to happen with this amount of money coming in. I was very optimistic that things would turn around with time. Overall, things would just end up getting worse. I paid rent and ML paid utilities. We were the perfect team. She learned so much, and I was so proud of her for her commitment to stay by my side. She was there from the beginning when I had nothing. I just knew that we could get through this and things would work out for us in the end. I had my pillar of strength by my side. She was my rock, the only person on the planet I could truly depend on. Things went well for quite some time. Then life decided to pop my bubble and take me down a couple pegs. Y'all know when you're on that emotional roller coaster, riding through life on the upside of things, and all of a sudden, life just kicks you square in the gonads, wakes you up for that downward tumble. For times when things get a little more, let's say, down to earth. That's okay. We all go through the good with the bad in life. I hate to say it, but we all go through the same ups and downs as well. Some, more than others, acknowledge the fact and don't want to leave anyone in the dirt when they climb out, though. So, I should let y'all know what kind of store that we are opening. We sold CBD. There's so many varieties, it didn't even make sense. We had everything that you could possibly imagine. We sold oils, salves, lotions, patches, and if you wanted anything internal, we had it. We were very popular for being a new shop in town. I really thought that we had a good thing going. Then it got tricky when W started sneaking in real cannabis products on the shelf. We are not a dispensary, and of course could not have those items in store. When I first brought it up to W's attention, he tried to act as if it was nothing. That one thing could get us shut down, or worse, catch a charge that I wasn't willing to take. So, the second time I said something to him about it, he tried to act like as if he didn't know it was on the shelf. I removed the products from the shelf and thought that that would be the end of it. Was I ever wrong? The next day, when I opened the store, I saw those same gummies back on the shelf. Now I'm questioning the person I hired as if she did it. Nope, it's my boss. As I mentioned it to him the third time, I was a bit upset at his foolishness. I guess you could say we were having a divergence in management of the store. Was he so money hungry that he would jeopardize everything that we worked so hard on? The short answer is yes. I couldn't believe it. But then I started to put the pieces together. Well, time went on, and I, for sure, had some thoughts that I didn't have before about my boss. And that's where I'm going to leave you right now. I promise I'll get another section for y'all. I may do this maybe twice a week or something like that, just for a little side thing. I know I need to do a couple little things for the real talk. I'm gonna see what works and what doesn't work. But I think I'm gonna do my short stories, regardless. I do that for me. Y'all can listen or not, but I do that for me. This helps me get through my things in my life. So it's one way for me to vent without venting. Put it on paper and get my story out, and it might help somebody else. So y'all keep in touch, keep listening to see what's going on, and I'll get back at you. I appreciate y'all watching to the end. Y'all hit that like and subscribe. Oh, hit the like, yo. It does a crazy little color thing now. So yeah, if y'all want to, y'all can do that. I appreciate your time, and I'll see y'all next time. Be easy. Peace.